Thank you. Good morning. Well, Nathaniel Bates is his name. He's nationally known, recognized in the world of politics after spending more than 50 years on the Richmond City Council. He also served 2 terms as mayor before he retired in 2022. And on the latest episode of my show, Talk of the Town, I spoke with Nathaniel Bates and the creators of the documentary, Rebirth of a City, the story of the Honorable Nathaniel Bates.
I inherited, along with George Livingston, some real serious problems in Richmond. I learned to be successful on a city council of 9 with various different opinions and personalities. You gotta work with each and every one of those council members.
I want to hear it from you. And I thought he had a compelling story that should be done and should be done, not because of his age, but because of the importance of the content.
Sure.
But it should be done right now. So we met.
It was fascinating to talk to all 3 of them. Nathaniel Bates was first elected to the Richmond City Council in 1967, and this documentary focuses on his long political career and the people who influenced him and were influenced by him. And you can watch my entire interview with Nat Bates and the 2 producers of the film Rebirth of a City on our website or on the Fox local app. Just go to ktvu.com/talkofthetown.
Sometimes the city shapes the man. Sometimes the man shapes the city. This is a story about a man that did both. Nathaniel Bates, the nation's oldest elected official at age 91, and one of the longest-serving African-American politicians in the United States. His journey reflects the struggles and triumphs of a community seeking change. Through his leadership, Bates not only influenced policy, but also inspired countless individuals to strive for a better future. This is his story.
From the Oakland Hills to Jack London Square, from the port to the Coliseum, this is Talk of the Town, an in-depth conversation about the people and issues important to Oakland.
Hello, I'm Dave Clark. I'm your host on Talk of the Town. Thank you for being with us and always being with us. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you're here because we're talking about a man who is an anomaly. He is one of the great figures in politics, not only in the Bay Area, but in America. And he's sitting right next to me right now. This is Nathaniel Bates, former mayor, the city of Richmond in California. And he's here for, I told him, I just want to brag on him. There are many accomplishments, and we will talk about this on Talk of the Town, the things he has done, not only for the city of Richmond, what you've meant to America over the years. And he's a very young, handsome, 94-year-old man who looks well. You are well, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Mayor Bates.
Well, I'm honored to be on the show, Mr. Shaw.
Well, and this is all about a documentary on Nathaniel Bates. The 2 men who are also here, I've got Arif Talif. He is the producer of the documentary, and he's also with the multi-ethnic sports organization in the Bay Area. And Steve Bernier, writer, producer, also a part of the documentary. I thank you all for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, yes.
Pleasure.
So we're going to talk all about why he is so special. And when I say this about you, how does that make you feel? Why are you special, Mayor?
Well, I've been blessed, and I'm very honored that some of the things that I've been involved in, the various accomplishments are being shared, not only with my family and a small segment within the city, but statewide and perhaps nationwide as well. It's just an honor to receive the accolades that I have been exposed to and the programs and the projects that I've been involved in.
Okay, now I want you to relax because you're at home.
Yes, thank you.
I want you to tell me things. Arif, what are some of the accomplishments that you have included in the documentary?
You mean, they're numerous, just so many. Dave, first of all, thank you for having us here, by the way. This man I've known for over 60 years.
60, really?
And has been a major, major contributor to the city of Richmond and the region, for that matter.
Yeah.
And many, many, many projects that he's been involved in, we highlight in the film. But a couple of them he'll tell you about as they go along.
Now I want you to tell me. Let's tick them off.
Some of the major projects that I view as being important would be the Hilltop Mall.
Okay.
The extension of the freeway to San Rafael Bridge that many people travel every day because of this general vision. And as indicated, the upgrade in housing in Richmond, where at one time they had the Kaiser industrial projects going on, and that turned that into quality homes. And two of the other important projects in my vision is that he brought the Social Security to Richmond and the Postal Service Distribution Center that employed hundreds, if not thousands, of people. And so consequently, that obviously contributed largely to not only the population growth, but to its financial base and quality of living in the city of Richmond. I'm so honored to have been involved with this man.
So Steve, the name of the documentary is what?
The name of the documentary.
That's okay, you're allowed to read it.
Yeah,
you can jump in, Arif.
Yeah.
Rebirth of a City.
Yeah, Rebirth of the City. And Steve,
the story of the Honorable Nathaniel Bates.
That's it.
That's okay, we got it. How'd you get involved in this project, Steve?
Well, actually, Arif was the one that told me about Nat. And he said that this guy has done so many great things for the city of Richmond. I'm from New York originally, so I don't know the Bay Area as well as he does.
Yeah.
But he educated me on what he did, how many years he's been doing it. Well, really put it in a nutshell. Nat has been around for, actually he's the oldest elected official at age 91 and one of the most, actually the longest serving politician in the United States, one of the most longest. Yeah, and I said, well, I need to tell people about his story. He's done so many great things to help the community, help the people in the community, and help those that want to better themselves as well as a businessman who's brought businesses in to make more money and to create a tax base to help the city of Richmond grow.
So Mayor, let me ask you, how did you become mayor? When did you become mayor? You've been mayor more than once. You've been vice mayor more than once. On the city council several years. Where did all this come from? Where did you come from?
Well, in 1967, that was an election for city council, of which I had no interest in at the time. Mm-hmm. And a good friend of mine who was on the council by the name of George Livingston approached me and wanted me to file and run for the city council. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, Judge Carroll, which was the first African American elected, I think, as mayor in the United States, had been elevated from a city councilman to a judgeship by the late Pat Brown. Mm-hmm. And the individual that the council selected to replace Judge Carroll was an African American named Cleophas Brown. And for whatever reason, George and Mr. Brown did not get along very well. So he wanted someone up there that he could relate with and had shared the same vision that he did. So he put together a team of individuals and suggested that if I ran, that they would be supportive. And that team consisted of Elton Brombacker, who owned the Independent Press. He was a Caucasian. There was Eileen Hernandez, who was an outstanding writer. She later became president of the National Organization of Women. And there was Jim Kinney, who was a supervisor. So we put all this together, and they raised the money. And it is interesting that my finance chair was Fran Watson, who was an attorney, And his son later became president of Chevron, just to give you an example. So they put together this team, and of course I had my own group, Tom and Hilda Black. I had my baseball coach, Gene Core, and I had a host of other individuals that I was familiar with. And collectively, we put together a campaign, and we won on our first trip. And that was at that time a 6-year term. We were in the category with the U.S. Senate. So I win, and now I'm a city council member.
What was it like for you as an African-American man, a black man, in that position at that time?
Well, I inherited, along with George Livingston, some real serious problems in Richmond. Richmond was sort of racist throughout the city, including the government. We had 4 departments that was discriminated against. They were basically funded by the federal government. One was Redevelopment Agency, Housing Authority, a program called CEP, a Concentrated Employment Program, and a few other programs. Well, at that time, if you were part of those 4 governmental agencies, you could not transfer or get promoted into the other city services like the finance department, the parks and recreation, the library and everything. So it was just racist. And we collectively worked, George Livingston and I, to get others elected, and we finally got a composition of 5 individuals on the council. We had a 9-person council, and we put on made a resolution that all the departments were equal and that none of them could discriminate against, and the city had to adhere to promotion opportunities, and that was the first big major step. Later, we had police problems. We had a group called the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
They were fierce, and they were taking a lot of their frustration and anger out on the African American community and the Latino community. And we had one youngster that did a petty theft, I think, and he was trying to climb a fence, and one of the cowboy police officers shot and killed him. And as a result, we had to pay a big lawsuit damage, of course, but at the time, we had Livingston on the council, myself, and we had several Caucasian council members that were sympathetic to our concern. And collectively, we worked with a group called the Guardians of Justice. And that was the black police officers within the department. And they, in turn, worked with the council, myself, and Livingston, and later Richard Griffin, and we eradicated that cowboy group, and we started promoting African Americans to lieutenant, captains, and eventually to chief. And that was a big turnaround in terms of the justice and equality in the city of Richmond.
That's part of what I want to hear more about from all of you. I just want to put some meat on this story. Again, Arif, the name of your documentary is?
Rebirth of a City, the story of the Honorable Nathaniel Bates.
You did it. Arif, Steve Bernier helping to make this happen. The documentary is fascinating, and we're going to learn more about it. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You come right back here to Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Dave Clark. I'm talking about a brand new documentary. It's about the former mayor, longtime outstanding mayor of the city of Richmond, California. He's sitting here next to me. He's Nathaniel Bates. And I'm so glad that you're here. Next to him, Arif Talib. See, I always mess things up. That's what I'm really good at. But you produced the documentary on him, his life, his tremendous accomplishments. And Steve Bernier, writer, producer, part of the production team on this documentary.
Director. He was director.
Director too.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you've been doing that for some time. I really want to talk about the putting together the project itself. You began the process. Tell me how you began it.
You know, Dave, I was overwhelmed to a certain extent.
Really?
When Nat he had purchased 2 of my books,
Yep.
and he called me and told me he liked the way I write, and
That's quite a compliment.
and mentioned the fact that there'd been some consideration and some people talking to him about doing his life story, and wanted to know if I would consider doing the book. And I told him I'm not sure if I want to do the book, but I'd certainly be interested in doing the film because you are alive.
Yeah.
You can do the book anytime.
Yeah.
And I want to hear it from you. And I thought he had a compelling story that should be done, and should be done not because of his age, but because of the importance of the content.
Sure.
That it should be done right now. So we met, and I brought Stephen on as the director. We began the process of telling this compelling story because, in my opinion, particularly in today's environment,
Yeah.
Nat's story is a story that should be seen and heard and re-spoken and taught in schools throughout America, simply because he knows how to govern. And we're in an environment right now where that's lacking, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Politicians don't know how to govern. This man knows how to govern, and we're hoping and believe that this documentary will be a guideline for many of them who are searching for how to govern.
How was it piecing together, getting evidence of what he has done? Mayor Bates, I'm not trying not to talk like you're not here, but I just want to talk about you. How was it talking to people, getting people to open up, getting the evidence of all the great things he's done? How was that process?
Not easy.
Oh, yeah.
Not easy. First of all, I began, along with Stephen, to identify who was going to be in the film. And I consulted my good friend here to offer suggestions.
Yeah.
He gave me, and what I was looking for was someone who had benefited from his political career.
Yeah.
After identifying them, I interviewed each one of them either through phone, Zoom, or face-to-face to find out who they were and what they were all about, how they really felt about this man. Because we wanted this documentary to tell the truth. We wanted it to be factual.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to be impactful at the same time. After making that discussion, then I'd set up the appointment to interview them, and we'd interview them with the production staff.
Mm-hmm.
And one to the other, we have 19 subjects in the film. And so it took us 15 months to the day, from December 6th to February 6th, to complete the project. The screening was February 21st. It's overwhelmingly received and approved. We've got 26 written testimonials. So we know that we have done the right thing. We're on the right track to teaching America about the importance of putting the right political person in the right seat at the right time.
At a time like this, you, sir. Steve, let me ask you, how did it affect you working on this project, doing his story?
I loved every minute of it. And what I enjoyed the most was actually talking with the, recording and talking with the people that we interviewed that spoke about on his behalf, about what he did, how he helped them, projects that he worked on with him. And they all had positive, no, I'll take that back, glowing reviews on how easy he is to work with, and how good a politician that he is. And now he stands up and he gives people a hard time to make things happen,
Yeah.
but he does it in such a way that after it's all said and done, you can be friends.
Yeah.
And that's the way politics should be done now.
Yeah.
And that's what I like most about him.
Now, how does that make you feel, Mayor Bates?
Well, I'm very proud, but I don't think I can take all the credit for my accomplishments. See, I had some great tutors, namely Willie Brown.
I know Willie Brown.
Willie Brown is a godfather of not only black but perhaps white politics as well. He's such a fantastic mind, individual that's thinking 3 and 4 steps ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
He did something as a state assemblyman when he was the speaker of the state legislature. He worked with various firms, the Ford Foundation, others, and he brought every African American elected official that chose to participate into a conference in Chicago, where the foundation paid for all expenses of travel, food, hotel, and everything. And there was an educational process whereby they taught us how to be a good legislator, how to be involved. And one of the things that he stressed is that if you're an elected official, just don't stay home.
Be out there.
Get yourself involved. And as a result, I got involved when I became the mayor. I got involved in the Country Council Mayor's Conference. I became the first African American as chair of that group. I got involved in what they call the East Bay League of Cities, which was comprised of all the cities in the East Bay. I became president of that group, and then I get involved in the League of California Cities, which is all the cities in the state of California.
How about that?
And I get involved, and I become an officer there, and later I got involved with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Then I got involved in what they call the National League of Cities, which is comprised of all the cities in the United States. And that's where I was able to generate contact and know individuals and be able to know how to get things done. You can't do everything by yourself.
No.
You got to have other people that believe in you and support what you're trying to accomplish. So Willie Brown and Tom Bradley, the late Merv Dimely, of course Tom is also gone.
Yeah.
Those were leaders that taught me and guided me into, and one thing Willie always taught, he says, Nat, in order to be successful, you can't be a politician. You need to be a statesman. There's a difference between a politician and a statesman. Politicians, like what we have today, they all gravitate either what the Democrats want to do or what the Republicans want to do. I learned to be successful on a city council of 9 with various different opinions and personalities. You gotta work with each and every one of those council members.
You hold the thought right there, because I want to pick up on that. We're going to take another quick break. We're talking with the great Nathaniel Bates, Arif Talib, Khatib. I'm going to keep working on that. Steve Bernier. They put together the documentary on Nathaniel Bates. We'll take another quick break. We'll be right back here on Talk of the Town. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Dave Clark. I'm having a good time. I'm talking to 3 great men, focusing on him. Former mayor of the city of Richmond, California, Nathaniel Bates, and these 2 gentlemen involved in the documentary on his incredible life and career. He's a young man. He's only 94. And he looks great, and he could knock me across the room still. Arif Khatib, the producer, and the director, Steve Bernier. You wanted to talk more about with Willie Brown and his involvement in the tremendous career of Nate Bates.
I wanted to review
Yeah.
my earlier remarks when I was talking about the pre-interviews for various candidates who were going to be in the film. We obviously didn't have to do that for Mayor Brown.
No.
But he told me some things that I thought was very important. And that is that he said, and I asked him in the beginning, how did you get to know Nat Bates? He said, when he ran for the Assembly in 1964, and he re-ran, I believe it was in 1968, he says, and in between that time, Nat Bates ran for the city council in Richmond.
Yeah.
And he supported my candidacy, and he was the only black candidate to do that, and I never forgot it. So consequently, he has become a staunch supporter and a longtime friend of Nat over the years. So it made it easier for me to gather the information that I needed in that interview with the mayor. And it is substantial. You need to see him. He's featured heavily in the film, has some incredible remarks, everlasting remarks, in my opinion, very impactful.
As we begin to wind down, I want to point out again the film, the documentary Rebirth of a City, the story of the Honorable Nathaniel Bates. And you, Steve, you're saying look for the end of the documentary. Don't miss it.
Oh yeah, the end of it is the best part, I think, because Willie Brown talks about how long he's known him, all the great things he's done, how he's been a great friend to him, and how he's worked with the community as well. It's I would say his narration goes on probably for about 5 minutes.
Wow.
And at the end of it, it's just breathtaking.
Yeah.
So you got to, if you watch it, most of it's great, but the end of it
all
is
of
the best
it's
part.
great.
Yeah.
All of it's great. Yeah.
Producers said that.
Yeah.
We're going to wind down. I'm going to talk about how do people have access to this documentary, Rebirth of a City, the story of the Honorable Nathaniel Bates. How do people get information, get a hold of what you're doing? Tell me.
First of all, they can go to Mushoff.com, which is our Hall of Fame, Multi-Ethnic Sports Hall of Fame.com. And from there, they can contact it and we can give them additional information. Okay. But in terms of where it's available right now, it is not really available.
Okay,
right now,
not yet.
Except in private screening, and we've had that one. We may have one more, but we've had that one. The director and I now are working on the next step for it. That is to the inclusion in the various festivals. We have been 14 festivals so far.
Wow. And won some too.
And we've won 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I expect many other ones. Afterwards, then they can look out for it being on television. But in the interim, the only way they can hear and see it would be to be fortunate enough to catch the next private screening that we have.
Okay.
And we haven't announced it yet, but it will be on the website when the time comes.
We have to wrap up, but I just want to thank you guys for being here. And Mayor Bates, thank you for being here, just period.
Thank
and
you.
for all that you've done in history. You've been acknowledged for being a leader in the city of Richmond and for being the star of this film. Thank you very much. And Arif Talib,
yes,
thank you so much. Steve Bernier, thank you. And I thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Talk of the Town.
Sometimes the city shapes the man. Sometimes the man shapes the city. This is a story about a man that did both. Nathaniel Bates, the nation's oldest elected official at age 91, and one of the longest-serving African-American politicians in the United States. His journey reflects the struggles and triumphs of a community seeking change. Through his leadership, Bates not only influenced policy, but also inspired countless individuals to strive for a better future. This is his story.
In 1967, I was sworn in to a 6-year term. In 1972, I was appointed mayor of the city of Richmond. And then I ran again for re-election. And in 1978, I was again appointed for the mayor. And I just become evolving year after year, winning. And a couple of times I lose. I run the next year and I win. So I wound up doing almost 4 decades.
Nat Bates's life, I'm telling you, is unique in this country for politicians generally. But for African Americans, there's no comparison. None of us have managed to survive as long as Nat Bates individually. But more importantly, none of us have managed to produce so many replicants, so many different versions of us. Because Nat Bates is still doing it. He's still trying to elect folk to public office. And he's in his 90s.
And Nat has been one of the most effective politicians, public leaders we've seen here in Richmond and West County in the last half century.
Well, Nat Bates was always about economic development, jobs, certainly diversity and inclusion. He didn't just want to create jobs, he wanted to create opportunities. And Nat Bates was always about a sense of community. And when you're having to maintain both a personal career and a political career, it really takes a lot of energy and a lot of focus. And Nat Bates brought that focus over many years on the Richmond City Council.
Well, Nat was one of the few people I could talk to in the City Council that actually cared about constituents' problems. I remember one particular time, my house is on the water, or by the water, and it's on a bluff that's probably 60, 70 feet to the water. And there's a pocket park that the city of Richmond has, and in their infinite wisdom, they wanted to move the view area down to the edge of the bluff, which is like 60, 70 feet. And Nat was the only council member that came out after I explained to him the situation that somebody or a little kid could fall off this bluff and die. He came out, actually was the only one out of the city council that came out and saw it and made a stop to it.
One of the things that I really liked to see Nat at work was his ability to be passionate about the spectrum of issues that the city of Richmond would face, and the spectrum of individuals that live here in the city of Richmond. And I would remember him as a staunch advocate for seniors.
And Nat was always there facilitating, helping me, and he's always working for the business community to keep those jobs, but he's also working for the development community, me, to help me create new jobs and new opportunities. So I had very good interactions with him on those things, and he was always someone I could call and talk to about, hey, here's my concept, here's what I want to do.
We at AWC, and me personally, getting to know Nat and the fact that he has been so supportive of AWC, both personally and on the political side, to ensure that our business operation here at the Port of Richmond has been successful, and we can't thank him enough. Because I'm going to put him into a category I don't put a lot of people. I think Nat, in my opinion, would be legendary, and not only on the personal side, but also on the political side as well.